Hi there, everyone. Again, still hope you're staying warm, still getting through that cold front bit by bit through this part of the country. So, to hopefully get through this weather, I'm going to talk about something that might be very exciting. Depends on if you find coding and storytelling exciting, but if you're watching this video, you probably do. Um, that or you're just in one of my classes and are watching this. So in the last video, I talked about the basics of just setting up and changing variables. Nothing too crazy in that video. We can basically just create a value with a name and store data inside of that variable, and we can change it out and set it to whatever we need it to, and we can see that be changed as the story progresses. I think that there are some slightly better ways to go about both working with variables, something I'll show you some additional features of them you can do in this video, as well as using them with conditional statements, also called if statements. These if statements, the formatting's similar in vein to the variables, but it's a little more typing. So what is a conditional, though? So what a conditional is, or again, sometimes called if statements, is essentially the code is going to execute something. You can have it do whatever you want based on whether a certain condition, that's why they're called conditionals, is true or false. So you have to set up a true or false test, and then if that test is true, the computer will execute the code you tell it to. Otherwise, it just does nothing. I think, so the way I'm going to go about this is I have a code I kind of pre-made before I started recording this video. And I'm going to kind of go through it and break it down into its parts, and then I'm going to go into the code from the video from last time, and do kind of a scaled down version of this, just so you can see me live typing it. All right, so I've got this one up here. So this is a little story about you, the character, waking up, going to the park, places I remember going to you, and you find a food truck, and you're going to buy stuff with the money that you have. And depending on what you buy, that may change your mood and things like that. So let's go and look at some passages. So the first part of this should look pretty familiar. You have set player mood to, only this time it's not a number. All right, so we can have data set as what's called a string. And you can specify the string with quotation marks around it. And that's essentially just going to be, no matter what, we're going to display these characters in this order, and that's going to be one unit. In this case, the string says happy. So we can set that there. So later on we'll say, if you are feeling player mood, which is the name of our variable, happy, what should you do after school? All right, that should be new. I'm going to ignore this for just a second. We can just hit play and see, today you're feeling happy. What should you do after school? It's just displaying the text inside of the quotation marks. All right, pretty simple. What's new are these few lines right down here. This is a conditional statement, right? So if you've ever done any kind of coding in JavaScript or C or Python or stuff, you've probably used a conditional before, but this format with Twinery has its own unique way to set these up. So we've got the kind of two opening symbols. I say open, open a lot when I type this, so I remember to hit it twice. And you just say if player mood, and then we have three equal signs. This is the test. So when we see the three equal signs, I read that as is equal to. 1, 2, 3. So if player mood is equal to happy, notice that that's the same thing we set it to here. We're then going to do two things. One, we're going to set player mood to thrilled, right? Because we had we're excited, we're happy, we're going to the park. And then we're going to display the link go to the park. All right, that's what we're going to do if player mood is happy. That's going to happen essentially every time by default. That's just the way it's going to be because we're starting with player mood as happy. And then we close out the if statement. I'll talk about that in just a second. But we're setting player mood to thrilled so you could do something with the player mood later on in your story. So if player mood is happy, which it is, we're going to set the mood to thrilled, which we don't see, and then have the link that just says go to the park. If I was to change this so it said anything other than happy, I'm going to pick sad to keep up the theme. Close that out. Hit play. That's it. In this context, our story is over because there's no links to go anywhere. You're just feeling sad after school. If you wanted to, you could do what we'll do in the next slide and set up a condition for if the player is not happy, we'll do something else. But I'm going to put this back to happy. H-A, happy. And there we go. So now when we go in, we will set player mood to thrilled, go to the park. So one thing I want to point out, you're going to need a few lines with your conditionals. The first is the one that opens it up. If player mood is happy, that's our test. That has its own opening and closing arrows. After that, anything that you type after that, that is what is going to be the code that gets executed if the test is true. If player mood is happy, which it is, we're going to do everything we type here until we get this line. All right, this is the line that closes the if statement, the conditional. All right, and if you've ever done anything with HTML, this should look very familiar. In fact, compared to HTML, you might see something structured like that. I'm going to put that back because that won't work. But essentially, we just have the slash if, and that's the only thing inside of the little open and close symbols. What that will do is tell the computer up here, we're opening up the conditional statement with the test. This is what we're going to execute, and then we're going to close it, and then you could type out more stuff afterwards if you need it. If you don't have this, you're going to run into problems. All right, if everything, like things just may not load, if they do, if you don't have this closing thing, then everything is going to be inside of this conditional statement, which you may not want. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say you more than likely will not want. So you have to open it and close it with the slash. We'll see a few more examples of this. All right, but if player mood is happy, we're going to go to the park and we'll be thrilled about it. That's what happens in this first one. Here, in the next one, we have a few different options. All right. So we're going to make a new variable here and set pocket change to 10. This is similar to the money one I used in the last video. So you're at the park and you notice a food truck. Yay, and you're pretty hungry. Let's see what we can afford. So if pocket change is greater than 5, that's our test. If whatever is inside of this variable is more than 5, we are going to link to this next passage. And I'm going to display the text. This looks great. I'm going to say, instead of at only, I'm going to say, and it's only $5. And it's only $5. All right. I'll pretend that we have $10 here. But anyway, so we're running this test. We can see if our test, if something is equal to something like we did before with the 3 equal signs, we can test if it's greater than or if it's less than with just a single little greater than, less than symbol as opposed to the doubles right here. Just like in basic math, if A is bigger than B, we're gonna link to this passage here. Else, this is where it's different. We had an if. Now we're gonna have what's called an if else. All right, this is kind of the next level of the test. So if the first test is true, we're going to do this first thing here. Else, meaning if this first test comes back false, meaning we have less than 5 5 money, meaning pocket change up here is less than 5, we are going to link to this one, which is just called Runaway Sad. A little over dramatic, but gets the point across. And then we're going to close off the if statement. All right, so we have if, else, and that's it. In this case, right now, we're only going to display this first one because we're setting pocket change to 10. We haven't spent any money yet, so we're going to buy the $5 snack. All right, so that's it right there. But you'll see in a second, we eventually link back to here after we will have changed our pocket change. And actually, I want to switch this up. This is in a bad spot. I'm going to move this up here. So we have our money here. Because we're not going to spend $5 and we link back, having that line there would just reset our money to $10. We don't own a money printer, so that would make for a bad story. But so if our pocket change is greater than 5, we're going to buy a snack. Otherwise, we're going to run away sad. That's just how it be. We set player mood and pocket change way up at the front. If we run away sad, we're just going to go home and cry and be sad. I'm just going to display that we have changed player mood to sad. And then there we go. But let's say we get to buy a tasty snack. All right. This is another kind of upgrade to variables. All right, so before I was setting variables to specific values. That's great and all. You can do that fine. But in scenarios like this, where we have a finite amount, and it's almost like resources, like money, and you want to increase and decrease from a specific point, you can use symbols like this. You have the minus equals or plus equals, meaning you add 5 to the current value or you remove 5 from the current value. In this case, we are spending money, so we are going to remove 5. So set pocket change minus equal 5. That's what you would type there. And it's going to take whatever pocket change was before, in this case 10, and remove 5 from it. All right. So here we have a few things right here. So then I just have, that was a great snack. What else can I afford to buy? So I have the if right here. Pocket change is equal to 5, meaning we have $5 left. We can buy one more and buy another tasty snack. That's it. There you go. Else if. All right, this is what's important here. If pocket change is equal to 4, meaning we've come up on this passage and we have exactly $4 instead of 5. We're going to run this test. So if the first test, if pocket change is equal to 5, fails, we're going to run another test. Else if pocket change is equal to 4, then we'll display this link and go to some other page. Else if pocket change is equal to 3, meaning if we check the pocket change variable, because we've subtracted values from it, if it's not 5, if it's not 4, and then we'll check and see if it is 3, then we'll go right here. And there we are. Buy a lame snack. So we have all that, and then there's kind of one more level. This is a very complex bit of testing right here. We have another else if. All right. Again, we've added one more thing. So if pocket change is less than or equal to 2, or pocket change is greater than or equal to 6, meaning if you have 0, 1, or 2, or 6, 7, 8, no, anything, basically anything 2 or lower or 6 or higher, we're going to then link to I can't make up my mind and then close it out. That's a lot of stuff going through right here, but essentially we just have a chain of if this is true, do something. Otherwise, check if B is true and do result B. If not, check if C is true and see if that's there. Otherwise, check if D or E, it could be either one of those, are true. And if that's the case, display this last result, close the conditional. And you can see that we branch off into different ones, all from this right here, and whichever one is available to us will pop up. So most of these are the same. You say, you are, whatever's inside a player mood. A lot of M's, it's a good snack. Slightly less M's, it's an okay snack. I suppose what I could do, set POCKET pocket change minus equals, what was that, 4. You are player mood. Can I buy anything else? And we want to go back to which one was it? I got a light shining in my eyes and it's all blacked out. Go to the park. Whoa. All right. I gotta fix these anyways because I have extra arrows right there. Set pocket change to decrease by 5. Then we're linking. Everything gets linked back to this option where we have here. Yep. And then last but not least, set $, pocket change minus equal 3. You are player mood. And then okay. So let's get through this right here. We've got, again, these if, else if, all this stuff. I'm going to start off by playing. Yum. We're feeling happy. What should we do after school? Again, keep in mind the background. We've set happy to be a value, and we've set our pocket change to be 10. We're going to go to the park. At the park, you notice a food truck. Let's see what you can afford. We'll pretend we actually looked at the menu and say, this item right here looks great, and it's only $5. We're going to click on that. Keep in mind that we have now decreased our money to be 5 less than it was. We can say, I can afford one more. If we were to click on that, say, yes, you are thrilled. You got 2 good snacks. We've changed player mood. Can I buy anything else? We go back to this one. We have no money because 10 minus 5 minus 5 is 0. So now at this time we get runaway sad. We went home and cried, and we are sad with a typo there. There we go. All right, so we have that there. See, I guess in this one, I'll adjust my if statement. Actually, let's adjust this up here. Let's make, I'm going to slowly decrease the amount of money we start with from 10 to 9. Boom. Let's go through this again. What should we do after school? Go to the park. I'm going to buy this one because it's only $5. Let's look what we can afford to buy. We have a different option this time because the value inside of player change is now 4, set to I need to watch my spending. And it just, all right, that was, we got the less good snack. Can I buy anything else? And then you can't, so you run away sad. So we've got that there. I'm going to change this to 8. Gonna go to the park. Gonna buy this one for $5. We can only buy. There's only one thing we can afford after we buy the first snack, and it's all right. Can we buy anything else? No, we can't. We run away sad. All right, and I think if I make this last one 45, I'm just picking a random number here, and play. Just so we get all of the options from that if, else, if. We're going to buy this, great. But since 45 is bigger than 6, we get the I can't make up my mind. I can't decide. And eventually you'll get back here to where you only have the option, you'll buy the expensive one. And you could theoretically keep going through this, 10 times in repetitive loops. I should have picked a slightly lower number. I'm going to keep doing this until it changes. Doop. Boop. All right, there we go. Now we've got the different option because we've been continually changing whatever's inside of the pocket change variable, which will then eventually change how our conditionals play out. So... and then eventually we've eaten all of their food and somehow are able to run away after being that grossly full. All right, and then that's the end of our story. So that was a lot of stuff. I'm going to pull open the video from last time, this one. And I'm going to set up a conditional right here. So we need the open, if. That's important because we have to tell it it's a conditional if. I used money here. Money is greater than or equal to 5. All right. 5. Close. What do we want to display here? Let's have a link to, let's say, link, I want to get a burger, right? And we'll go to the link called burger. And then I'll say, else if, one word, else if, there it is, money is, let's say if it's between 3 and 4, is equal to 3, or money is equal to 4. Close that one, and we will say should only get some fruit. Fruit's usually pretty cheap. Fruit. All right. Last but not least, we'll say else if money is less than 2. We'll say if it's less than or equal to 2. We will say I'll say no, I'll do I'll just get some water. I've already spent a lot of money today. And now all we have to do left is open / if, because we have to close out our if, close, close. So assuming I typed all that right, we're going to find out. I'm doing this live. I'm going to close out of here. I think I've messed up one of these. I've messed up my else if. So let's go back to the other one and make sure I did that correctly. Where'd we go? Conditionals. There we are. I thought I did that right. It looks right. Maybe it's do this. So I'll just say else if money is greater than 3. I think we can say and money is less than or equal to 4. Greater than or equal to. That should fix it. Why is fruit not displaying? Oh, that wasn't the problem. This was the problem. Ha ha ha. There we go. So there we are. You can also use and instead of or. The only difference between that is both of these have to be true. So you have to have 3, greater than or equal to 3 and less than or equal to 4, meaning only 3 or 4 are the only passable values to get the fruit option. So let's see here. Boom, burger. That, before we go here, let's say set money minus equal 5. That was a good meal. I have money dollars left. I'll just say if where is it? Money is greater than or equal to 2. I could use a drink. Oop, I should. There. Go back. I could use a drink. Go to water before I go home. Close out the if statement. Actually, before I do that, I'll say else time to go home. Yeah. Slash if. Come on. There we are. Alright, else time to go home. Did I do that right? I think I did. Yeah. Alright. So basically I'm just making some that wasn't water, that was get some water. Delete this extra one. We don't need it. Alright, and tell you what, to save time, copy, paste, set that to 3. I'll set that to 2. There we are. Money is greater than or equal to 2. We'll get some water. else time to go home. We link there. That was refreshing, but I should get home and cook some actual food. And I'll say, I'll make this my link. And I'll say, go. Was it time to go home? Yeah. I had fun today. Too bad I only have that much fun. All right. That was refreshing. Set money minus equal 1. It was cheap water, but it got a bottle. All right. Here we go. Let's go through our new story now. So let me just try to, hopefully you can kind of see where all those go. So no matter what, we're gonna end up at this one ending slide right here, but the values and the text that are gonna be displayed are gonna be changing depending on the pathway that the reader takes. This is what we're gonna kind of wrap out the video with. All right, so what a fun day today. I get to go to the mall. We're going to go to the mall. Should we go to the game store or the shoe store? Again, this isn't a new thing, but we're going to hit game store, and we're going to change the amount of money. We decreased it by 4. All right, we're going to go to the food court. This is what's new. I have $6 left. What should I buy? In this case, it's the burger. I'm going to buy the burger. And I have an error. I did mean to use else if. Well, pretend I did that on purpose and say when you type your conditionals wrong, you're going to get this error right here in your trying to get through your story, and it's going to be a problem. So, else burger, I think I want here. That should be. I guess I'll just go do it this way. Oop. Let's try that from here. Let's try it from here. Come on, there we go. I didn't want to go into debug mode. Fine. Play. Do it from the beginning. Go to the game store. Go to the food court. And I want to get a burger. That was a good meal. I have $1 left. Time to go home. I had fun today. Too bad I only have $1 left. There we go. So that's the one ending if you go to the game store. Just the way we programmed it. If we do it again, we're going to go to the mail. We're, new timeline. We have $10 again. I have $10, but this time we're going to go to the shoe store. I have $8 left. Let's check out the food court. So we bought some fruit. I have $2. Let's say I was like I should only get some water. That's it. So we've already spent a lot of money. That was refreshing, but we'll pretend I spelled that right. Get home and cook some actual food. That was fun today. Too bad I only have $1 left. All right. So again, we've had different endings. So if the user starts off and goes to the game store, they will have spent less at the game store but more at the food court and ultimately have no money when they get home. If they were to go to the mall, go to the shoe store, they'll spend more on the shoes but less on the money, getting fruit and water before going home. So, or actually I think it was just water. But anyways, depending on the starting money and what you spent, you could work out a variety of different options. This is just kind of a basic outline of everything that you can do using if if else, if, along with variables. All right, so I'm just going to wrap up this video. I've been talking for a little while now. I'll pull this code open one more time and just put this on the screen as a way to end it, just showing how we can set variables, the structure to have a conditional statement with an else if, all of that right there, else if, and we have to close off everything when we're done with this statement with the closing if tag. Again, it's that /if right there. All right, and then just because that wasn't on there, we just have if else, and this is where I had a mistake earlier, else, and then it's on another line, you put what the else is. So again, it's if this is true, do that, otherwise do option B. So that's what I'm leaving off today. Like always, everyone have a great rest of your day after watching this. If you have any questions about anything, I love to see that kind of thing, or examples of what people have created in the comments below. If you learned something or you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe for more, and all the other yada 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 blah 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 YouTube stuff. You know how it goes. And that will be it for me today. Everyone have a great time, and I'll see you next time.